job of chairing the Assembly for some of these occasions. This is a statutory meeting, and that means that it's important that we hear and record the questions and the answers, and we do it correctly. That means that we do actually have to restrict, much as some of us may regret it, the participation from the public gallery. It reaches a point that it's impossible to do that. So I don't think it's just a matter of being safe. I think it's a matter of ensuring that we do not have that sort of interruption from the audience so we can do our business properly. Otherwise there is no point in us being there.
Can we hear from
thank you, Chairman. Thank you for the kind words from members, and also I pay tribute to the security staff who did an excellent job just then. And talking of which, I should advise Chair, Mayor and members that a member of the security staff was knocked out unconscious outside the building. Outside the building. I understand. The briefing I had was that there was an assault. So just as of a few minutes ago, there was a difficult situation outside the building involving police and ambulance staff. The police were also in the building dealing with what was told was quite a volatile situation in terms of the dispersal of the people who have been attending the meeting. So as of a few minutes ago, there was quite a difficult situation going on. That might have changed. I'm willing to go and get an updated briefing if members would wish me to. Yeah. In terms of the being on the record, I would simply advise we are meeting the sort of minimum statutory requirements meeting here. It is being recorded and broadcast, and we are able to have a limited the number of members of the public. So we are meeting our requirements by proceeding now. But obviously officers are in members' hands, and we'll take our instructions from you.
Through you, Chair, could I just echo very strongly what Len and Andrew have said, and remind you that the Assembly at this question of time should reconvene as fast as possible in the Chamber. And I think we should all give our thanks and our respects to the members of staff who've had to deal with what has been pretty uncommon situations this morning. I think that what Ed has just told us will undoubtedly cast a real make people who come to this place and engage in argy-bargy of that kind really reflect on what they've done and reflect on the importance of protecting the democratic process and allowing people to get on be scrutinised by the Assembly in a reasonable way. So that's what I'd like to have.
Well, Chair, I mean, Caroline and I have had a lot of contact with this issue, and I just want to say that I think that, yes, of course, we have a statutory function, but we've got a wider moral democratic function within our society, and it is sometimes to be a lightning conductor and a channel for people who are feeling that they are suffering enormous burdens, people who are in great difficulty. And if that means sometimes they're a bit noisy, that is democracy, and we have to tolerate it and we have to try and manage it with skillful chairing and having a relationship with people to pull them back into the debate. I personally don't feel that the people up there were intent on disrupting our proceedings, just the opposite. They've actually been very focused on the work of the Assembly, and they've been very supportive of the work of the Assembly, and I think a stronger appeal to them to behave to allow us to continue our work might be well received.
Well, I'm anxious that we should get back. Deal with business as soon as possible.
I agree we need to get back, and I agree with Mel that this is sometimes an opportunity for people to make their feelings felt when they feel they're not listened to. But I'm also sympathetic to Mel. It's not very pleasant to be.
I don't mind being shouted at in the slightest. I think it was
You've got thicker skin.
There's no interruption. The sooner we'll get back.
I want to just say two things. I did see some actually quite unpleasant aggression upstairs, directed at a former member of staff. So I feel that was, I mean, the guy was stopped by other caddies, but that's worth noting that there is some aggression. But finally, this has got a lot of impact on the rest of our days. Are we going to reorder anything or drop anything?
Well, cracking.
Come on.
You have a great time.
When we get back up there and we do the questions,
Just as we go out,
give up the green
just say
card?
that to us.
I will let you know what questions
I'll
have
put
been
down the result as we move on.
certainly we are mindful of this. Very quickly, if that's the end.
Tony, I wonder if we could just get an update on the sorting not out. An ambulance has been full.
There are protests on Tower Bridge as well. There are protests on Tower Bridge as well.
Well, it looks like
Yes,
we're
I'm
not
advised.
going back to that.
I'm advised that we can't go back to the chamber just yet, but so that business can proceed, can we deal with questions until we can get back into the chamber?
Yeah.
Can we do that? Can I let you know that I have received notification from Assembly Member Bob that the following questions will no longer be asked. That is Assembly Member Cleverly's question on the low emission zone for construction machinery, my question on tourism in outer London, and my question on police recruitment. They have been dropped for oral reply. I wonder if any of the others will be willing to accept written replies. Yes, written replies. Yes.
We want to do police and
I will on entry walk.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I ask the Labour Group then, are you willing to...
Chair, we're just having a discussion. There are some very important items that we want to place on record, and we think that we're just going through the list now, and we're going to have a discussion. If you just bear with us.
I can't remember what it was.
Oh, yes, Tony, have we got the same amount of time or not? So we're still continuing as before.
Well, you need to know what questions have been
Alright, so you're doing yours.
Thank you. We'll get the notice from the Labour Group of the questions they've got. We were still on the second Pigeon's question relating to still on the subject of the
Yes.
Right, if I could just, Mr. Mayor, let's just do our recap. We've got to the point where we're looking at talking about the infrastructure.
Yes.
What I want to say is that many taxi drivers and private hire drivers don't have access to dedicated lots of parking facilities. We don't want them trading deeds across the pavements of the states. Are you looking at infrastructure that will work for them?
Yes, we are, and we're looking at also a new network, not just of thousands of charging points, but of rapid charging points as well. So we're acutely conscious of not just the needs, but of the anxieties that taxi drivers and private hire businesses will have about their ability to have regular access to charging.
And then what I want to ask you about is, given that there is a lack of availability at the moment of zero-emission taxis, and that could be a barrier to adoption, and also the cost of them. I know the new ones, I've heard that they're looking good, but the cost of them. Would you consider TfL looking at actually procuring a replacement fleet of zero-emission capable taxis directly, so they would directly buy them and lease them to taxi drivers, much the same way you have with the new bus for London, in order to get the prices down, to get that real hit early on of clean vehicles on our streets?
Well, it's a very interesting idea. As you know, we've got £65 million from OLED, which we are intending to use to subsidise the acquisition of these new vehicles. It might be worth considering whether we can use our financing and borrowing ability to do just that. I will certainly ask TfL to look into that. It may not be possible, but it's certainly worth considering.
Just seems that you've done it for buses, and I think, from memory, New York do this for their taxi fleet. They actually lease them out. It would be a way that you could buy them quickly. It would help get through the system, so that otherwise we're going to be looking at 2033 before the taxi fleet is completely zero emission capable.
Yeah.
So I really would like you to seriously put this to TfL and see if they can find a way to make this work.
Yes, I shall. I didn't know it was being done in New York, and we'll certainly look at that possibility. I wouldn't know, so I wouldn't want to commit to it right now.
I just think it's a good option to try to clean the fleet as quickly as possible. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
More on this one. Thank you. Next question is from Assembly Member McCartney on police funding. The leader of the Labour Group told me there will be no supplementary.
Well, let me just say that I share very much your concern, I think, about this, Joanne. It's a very difficult situation in which the Met finds itself, and indeed other metropolitan forces in big cities. Clearly, the funding formula is potentially being skewed away from cities towards other areas. That cannot be right, given the massive growth in London's population, the real challenges we face. But you will appreciate we are at the beginning of the stage of negotiation now. We've got about that funding formula, and also about the overall package of funding from the Home Office. So there are two things in play now. We've got to make sure that the needs of London are properly understood by government.
Yes, we entirely agree with that, Mr. Mayor. And the consultation that the Home Office is doing about replacing the policing formula, under the various scenarios, it has the Met budget reducing by up to 43%, which obviously would decimate London's police as we know it. But these figures are not being given out as part of the consultation, so police forces are being asked to respond to a consultation when the Home Office is refusing to release the data that lies behind the changes. Now, the Treasurer Society of the Police and Crime Commissioners have come up with their possible scenarios, which leads to that 43% possibility for the Met. And the Police and Crime Commissioner of the West Midlands and Northumbria have stated that this indicates a shift away from city policing to rural. Yes, and they have said that they are investigating the possibility of legal action against the Home Office. Now, obviously, as your position of Police and Crime Commissioner of the major police force in the country, would you talk to those two police commissioners and others who are like-minded and talk about what you can do together, perhaps resorting to legal action, but otherwise, I think unless you take the lead in this, we could be looking at a disaster for our police funding.
I totally share that. So I think you may have had the copy of the letter I've written to Theresa May.
No, I haven't.
So it's certainly very happy to be available to you. We sent that letter. I think it was some time ago. This is something that really needs to be sorted out. Funding formula cannot be changed in a way to disadvantage the areas where the population is growing and where we have a significant challenge from crime. And I think it's a question of such obvious, immediate, burning importance that it's something the government really will focus on in the next few days. And I've already initiated conversations.
Because I do know that the Met and MOPAC are extremely worried about this, and as an assembly on the police committee, we've written objecting to this as well. So I think we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. But do you agree that it is wrong for the Home Office to put out a consultation about changing a formula whilst refusing to give the details behind it?
Yeah, I think the formula has got to be transparent. We've got to understand on what basis this funding is to be allocated. What we're hearing is that there are some rural police forces that are basically finding it very, very hard to make their books add up, and for one reason or another, we think in Suburban they've had data points over time that you should go towards amalgamation of police forces around the country in order to save money. That is being resisted at the moment by central government. I think that is a pity, because that is an obvious route forward. It would be a great pity if the funding of the metropolises, where desperately needed was cut.
So final question, will you talk to the commissioners of the West Midlands and Northumbria and any other like-minded commissioner who wants to come together, and I think a powerful group would be very helpful.
I certainly will make sure that we have contact. I know Mopac is already in contact with Tony Lloyd and with the Commissioner of the West Midlands to Conservatory. We're not yet at the stage of taking legal action. I still think that this is something that is, if I don't exclude it, I want to make it clear that this is something that we think is an urgent political concern for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Member Bob, his question is on rent control.
Yes, and I hope I can answer this quite rapidly, Andrew, by saying that rent controls are widely accepted to have a very damaging effect where they can apply. I think the Assembly recently had testimony from various experts on the impact of rent controls. Professor Whitehead of the LSE said that rent controls are burning the returning investors. And Patsy Bell of Shelter said that if rent controls are caused through rent reduction, many landlords simply sell up, which is like to force out some of those vulnerable tenants. And Alan Pollock of Energy Real Estate said that in Amsterdam, new homes and private rentals might be between from existing rent shelters that have been ordered to get more built. And the famous quote from the Mayor of Ho Chi Minh City, one thing that was struck in the United States Air Force for Ho Chi Minh City were, of course, rent controls.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. That's a very comprehensive answer, and I'm struggling to think what kind of supplementary I might ask you, apart from the fact that we've done some number crunching in our office using a model of Cambridge University, which indicates that if rent stabilisation measures were applied in London, it could mean over 51,000 people pulling out of the rental market by 2025, and at a time when obviously we need more people renting their properties, not less. That would be a disaster. Are you familiar with those figures, and are you supporting?
Yes, the rental market has grown in importance in London. Vastly more people renting now than ever before. We have a London rental standard which has greatly expanded in the last few years. Last few years since it was brought in, 170,000 homes in London are now covered by that standard. But I think that the bringing in rent controls, trying to set rent controls, the kind of they had in Vietnam really would be a retrograde less property for those who rent.
And finally, Mr. Mayor, do you think we should acquaint Sally Khan with the quotes from Christine Whitehead, OBE, Professor of London School of Economics, who said that rent stabilisation schemes only work whether that's needed?
I think that's always worth pointing out. I think the saving fact, really, for the purposes of this institution, is that rent stabilisation schemes are not legally possible. We don't think it's not only they are counterproductive, is that we in this body do not have the legal powers to impose what the Federal Commission is the London rental standard, but building more supply, which is what we've done. More homes for rent, more homes for part 5 car rent as well. And we're answering.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, very much appreciate that.
Look forward to introducing you to the research that Cambridge have done.
Yeah. Bring us forward, committee like you did last time.
Oh, okay.
I'm told that it's unlikely that we will be able to go back to the Chamber Hall. I understand the problem is not people in the Chamber, but we are unable to provide security staff.
Well, I think it's very sad.
Yeah.
My deep regret. I think it's very. I pay tribute to our security staff. It's very, very simple. Is it that there aren't any security staff available? They're trying to deal with
Upstairs and
I'm going to answer that.
Sorry, I didn't hear the precise
The
question.
Mayor has asked whether or not the security staff is that there are no staff available.
To secure the chamber if members and the mayor return, that's the issue. So the chamber itself is clear.
It's completely empty.
But there are still some difficult situations around, and the security staff very stretched at the moment. They know they are working very hard to ensure that they
Could I possibly propose to the chair and to colleagues or friends on the assembly that, you know, our security staff doing a fantastic job. I think that the risks to us, frankly, of going back into the chamber are absolutely minimal. And I think I just invite the chair down.
They've got dogs out now on the ground floor. They've got police dogs stopping people coming in. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm frankly, I would rather say sorry. You know, it sounds weak, but nevertheless.
Well, in
your interest as much as ours, Mr. Mayor, I would rather say. Can we go on please to Senator Member Tracy, please?
You shouted back.
I did not shout back. Now, that's not true.
Please, you can have a go and deal with this matter after we've dealt with the formal business of this meeting. This is still formally Mayor's question time, and we are waiting for you to deal with the question from Senator Tracy on the air.
Thanks, Dick. I was surprised by what Sir Howard had to say, particularly when he cast aspersions and doubt on the work of TfL's officials, who, in my experience over a long time, do a fantastic job for the city. Grave misstep, I think, to my mind, casts further doubt on the liability of these
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Certainly, his attacks on the professionals of TfL were very much uncalled for. As far as I think we were all felt that around the chamber. But frankly, what I see is that so many parts of the report of the airport seem to have been shocked to bits by findings by TfL staff and by others. And frankly, in the session last week, Sir Howard Davies was not able to give us a categorical answer on night flights, nor indeed on the fourth runway. I mean, he hoped that legislation would affect the fourth runway. But it seems as though the Commission work has been, to a very large extent, discredited.
Yes, I think that the findings of the Commission, the report itself reveals that the air quality exceedances would be impossible to deal with, and that he proposes absurdly that the runway should be built but not used until the air quality problems have been solved. There is clearly a huge hole in the logic in saying that you can build a third runway and then legally prevent a fourth runway. There's all sorts of nonsense about trying to ban night flights when already Heathrow Airport is contesting that, and they're also contesting the ban on the fourth runway. And I thought it was very telling that this massive increase in noise pollution, which London will suffer, and vehicular pollution, which London will suffer, doesn't deliver the increase in connectivity that we really want from a hub airport. You don't get that many more destinations being served. In fact, you get fewer domestic destinations and hardly any more international destinations. We would continue by going for a third runway at Heathrow to lose ground to other European and other international airports. It's the wrong solution for Britain. It's certainly the wrong solution for London.
Those findings about connectivity seem to have been unearthed by TfL professionals from the body of the report. It was never made particularly obvious to us when the Commission report was presented. But the other thing which TfL have of course unearthed is the whole question of potential road gridlock and so on around Heathrow itself. And I mean, as I see it, this is a very, very serious matter which ought to be taken seriously by the government in their deliberations as to where they're going to site, or indeed whether they're going to expand Heathrow or expand Gatwick and so on. Would you agree with that? I mean, it is just unacceptable now that this Commission's work is taken as absolutely 100%.
I think the Commission's report is full of holes. I've indicated some of them. I think the government is now in a very difficult position because the Commission has tried to skew the report so as to make it very difficult for any other, for any alternative scheme to be approved. I think there will be some serious problems. Now, I think the reality is we're faced with a choice of going ahead with a very, very bad option, which would be disastrous for London, or going back to some of the ideas that were first mooted in this place a long time ago, not least by Kit Morplat and others, that we should really go for a radical long-term solution. I think we will end up getting back to that answer. And it's a great shame. I predicted all this. This has a grinding inevitability about it, because the difficulty with the Heathrow runway 3 is not something with which Londoners are unfamiliar. We all know the problems, and I just don't think it is going to be delivered. And I listened to. It's very interesting to see the transition that has taken place in the Labour Party over the last few days, and I know that what impact it will actually have in Parliament. But I know that the two most senior members of the Labour front bench now are both opposed to a third runway at Heathrow. I think they're, I don't obviously agree with them about much, but I think on that point they are not wrong.
But so are you hopeful that with the aspirant to the mayoralty of the Labour Party, with the leader of the Labour Party, and indeed with the four candidates for the selection of the mayoral candidate in the Conservative Party, do you think the government's going to listen to all that and actually take a view?
I think, as I said, I think the government is very, very difficult. And don't forget, it would, to go for Heathrow would necessitate a very considerable U-turn by the Prime Minister. And that's not something, not something that any Prime Minister likes to have to make. And I think that Dave Cameron will want to find a way through that delivers a good long-term solution.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Senator Member Evans.
Thank you, Chairman. I recently met constituents from one step to pass on their thanks for your decision to block the expansion of London City Airport. Can you please provide them with reassurance that you will continue to oppose this scheme, which would be very damaging for the environment?
I shall, and I think it is just sort of, I mean, I know the pressures, and I've been extensively lobbied about London City from business and from people who think it would be a great thing to find people to have more flights out of London City, but you can't be inconsistent with this. You can't say that people deserve protection from aircraft noise pollution in West London and South London and all places that are affected by Heathrow, and then say that East London should have a big increase in aircraft noise. I don't think that's fair.
Senator Member Ball.
I know, Mr. Mayor, that all the parties of the Assembly, except the Labour Party, oppose Heathrow expansion unequivocally.
Well, that's rubbish.
Can I just ask you, Mr. Mayor, that to just oppose...
You said except the Labour Party.
Oh, except the Labour Party, and that, of course, is on record.
Not true.
Well, I always knew Jeremy would come.
Can you just confirm for me, Mr. Mayor, that the opposition to Heathrow expansion is not enough, and that any opposition that does not provide a coherent plan for a replacement hub means that we will probably revisit Heathrow expansion in years to come?
Absolutely right. And that's why I think the thing is, you were saying, making this point to me yesterday, the document I really advise colleagues to look at is the TfL work, I think it was about 2011, the two papers on aviation expansion and the options, and it was a very, very good bit of work, and I think that does set out what we're doing.
Do you recommend, Mr. Mayor, that those people who are wishing to succeed you as Mayor of London should at least take the time to read that document?
I'm absolutely heart and committed to heart. And
whatever party.
Who are you voting for?
Whatever party. Well, I wouldn't want to prejudice anybody's chances by
Like the Evening Standard, it may be a kissing dead. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Assembly Member Shawcross has indicated he wants to speak on this. Immediately after that, we can go back to the chamber.
Yeah. Well, just briefly, Chair, Mr. Mayor, we were not going to come in on this, and I couldn't have faulted anything that our colleague Dick Tracy said on the topic, and we have in this chamber made many of the same criticisms. But would you not agree that playing silly party political games, as I think Andrew has just done then, and trying to misrepresent the detailed scrutiny that this Labour group has made of these and criticisms of this proposal does no credit to the issue? And what we want is actually some sensible, detailed, cross-party work in London's interests.
Absolutely. Look, I think what he was alluding to was I think there had been, perhaps not members of the Labour group here today, some members of the Labour group, I think I have detected some sort of slight swerving.
Chair, can I nail that? We gave a very clear account of our views on this and what is wrong with the Davis report and why we do not think the case for Heathrow has been made. And I do not think that it is adult politics to actually try and pretend we have said something we have not.
It doesn't matter anymore.
John Biggs is not here today to speak himself. He regularly, as was said earlier, regularly put
No, but we've got many space. We've got many
Okay, let's go back to
This is City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority, the Mayor and the London Assembly. This channel carries coverage of public proceedings of the Mayor and the London Assembly. This is City Hall, the home of London's democracy. This is City Hall. This is City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority, the Mayor and the London Assembly. This channel carries coverage of public proceedings of the Mayor and the London Assembly. This is City Hall, the home of London's democracy. This is City Hall. This is City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority, the Mayor and the London Assembly. This channel carries coverage of public proceedings of the Mayor and the London Assembly. This is City Hall, the home of London's democracy. This is City Hall. This is City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority, the Mayor and the London Assembly. This channel carries coverage of public proceedings of the Mayor and the London Assembly. This is City Hall, the home of London's democracy. This is City Hall. This is City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority, the Mayor and the London Assembly. is coverage of public proceedings of the Mayor and the London Assembly. This is City Hall, the home of London's democracy. This is City Hall. This is City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority, the Mayor and the London Assembly. This channel carries coverage of public proceedings of the Mayor and the London Assembly. This is City Hall, the home of London's democracy. This is City Hall. This is City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority, the Mayor and the London Assembly. This channel carries coverage of public proceedings of the Mayor and the London Assembly. This is City Hall, the home of London's democracy. This is City Hall.
Question. Next. Blimey, I forgot that. The next question is Assemblymember McCartney on burglary sanction detection rates.
Look, it's a very, very good question. And, Joanne, am I... Sorry?
You mean?
Sorry.
So am I.
I don't know whether you get
Can't
that right.
hear a thing in this chamber. This is great. So if you've got a question.
Hello. The burglary rate has fallen very, very dramatically, down to its lowest level since 1974. It's come down by 25% since 2012, when we set the MOPAC China 20% reduction target. There are 24,000 fewer burglaries every year, and that's partly because of a great deal of crime prevention work going on in London. Smart water is being extensively used. I think that homes generally are thought to be more secure. There's less to steal very often in homes, and we're very encouraged by that. But the sanction detection rates have gone down as well, and that's troubling. The reason for this is basically because the practice of having offences taken into consideration has been radically curtailed. So, previously, when you arrested a burglar, they would say to him, "Right, nosher, we've got you for this one. Do you want? And here's a list of other burglaries that have taken place in the neighbourhood. Do you want to as well?" And in order for your sentence to be mitigated, the offence to be mitigated in some way, and the burglar would say yes, and so all those would be marked. All those crimes would be marked as having been cleared up, and that clearly was leading to, I think, probably some abuse. It meant that the figures on sanction detection weren't being trusted, and that is the reason why sanction detection rates have gone down. But we're working very hard to make sure that we do really crack this, and when we get a burglar, that we absolutely